To borrow from one of her favorite musicals, people come into our lives for a reason, those incredible individuals who help us most to grow. Judi Wolf is one of those special people. Her lifelong passion for theater brought her to the DCPA. Her love of the stage led her late husband, Marvin, to name one. And their generosity over the past 40 years has helped us to grow.
First impressions of meeting Judi, I feel sort of like I've known Judi forever. In my time at the Denver Center, she's been a constant presence.
I was introduced to Judi at a breakfast. It was a week after I'd been hired, and I believe sitting at my table, maybe to my left, was this woman that looked like a movie star, and I immediately took a liking to her. And if you've ever spent any time with Judi, she's an extremely warm human and very, very welcoming.
It was at a Denver Art Museum event called Collector's Choice, and Judi and Marvin came sweeping into the ballroom. I was meeting her for the first time, so I said, "Hi, I'm Joanne from the Denver Post," and she said, "I am Judi Wolf." And Judi didn't speak, she purred. Well, and that was the beginning of really a 30-plus year friendship with Judi.
The first time I met Judi Wolf was at Mr. Sewell and Mr. Singleton's birthday party at the Denver Country Club. And she was actually in the foyer of the country club with Cleo Parker Robinson. And I kind of thought I'd died and gone to heaven because these two fabulous women were loving on each other and being silly and dancing and just reminiscing about how much they love the arts community in Denver.
One of the things that's so amazing about Judi is her sartorial style, and she is known to brighten up any event she attends. There was the event in the summer of 2007 when we hosted the pre-Broadway engagement of Disney's The Little Mermaid, and we had a gala event for that particular show, and Judi was sure to arrive in a stunning, beautiful, ocean-themed blue and turquoise, lovely dress, and she was followed by someone who distributed bubbles in her path.
I do remember she came to the Colorado New Play Summit reading of Rattlesnake Kate in cowboy boots, cowboy hat, maybe a jacket that was snakeskin. It was like very appropriate. She knows how to make an entrance, so everybody's always like, "Who is that?"
The symphony at one point had, for their major fundraiser, the Cinderella Ball. So of course, who comes dressed as Cinderella? She had her dressmaker make this big, fluffy, wonderful Cinderella costume. And she reprised it a couple of times over the years at different events. But, of course, she's not going to show up in just your ordinary gown.
Judi has a style of her own. I mean, and it's so wonderful because it goes with whatever's happening. It's going to be grand, and it's going to be elaborate, and for some it could be flamboyant, but for her it's absolutely right.
Her sense of fashion and sense of style, I think, is so theatrical that she could leap out of a seat in the audience onto stage and give a performance. I think she's very careful about putting her look together and fearless, and I admire that about her.
There is no one on the planet that has as much fashion sense as Judi Wolf. And then of course we have her column in our Applause magazine. Fashion threads is her thing, right? She's always going to tell the story about what's hot and what's not. She's not only a theater icon, but she's a fashion icon in Denver.
Judi's favorite color is red.
Red was chosen for the tie. Was not a mistake.
Red.
I think I'd have to think about it, but it's red. Okay?
Judi Wolf's favorite color is red. That's why I wore red today. Judi loves red because I think she's a fiery woman. There's no other color that would work. Only red.
Well, of course it's going to be red, but I think it's maybe leopard. When you asked me what her favorite color was, I almost said sparkle, too, because Judi always has that sort of gleam and glimmer and sparkle in her eyes.
I mean, she just identifies as the Red Wolf. It's her beautiful red hair, her red lipstick, her red attire. It's her brand.
The Wolf Theater is the center of the Bonfils complex, and it's a critical part of the Denver Center for Performing Arts.
Well, when you have the opportunity to build or renovate a cultural space, there are lots of people you think about because you need resources to pull it off. you don't always get somebody who loves the organization. You may just get somebody who wants to put their name on it. And the fact that we've got somebody who loves the organization, loves the work, who this organization loves and has a deep relationship with is kind of the best of all possible worlds.
One of the things I think about with the renaming of the theater is just what a wonderful representation of their legacy. I think theater has a history of tradition, legacy, patronage, things that I know are important to Judi and have been important to the Wolf family.
The DCPA is renowned for being the largest nonprofit theater organization in the country, and artists come from all over the world, quite frankly, to participate in live theater right here at the Bonfils Theater Complex and right here on the stage of the Wolf Theater.
We believe that with the Wolf Theater and the other renovations that we've done, that we have world-class facilities.
When I think of Judi, I think of passion. Like, that is a word that suits her in my mind so clearly, and she's so passionate about the arts that I'm happy to say I'm going into the Wolf Theater. I think it's really cool.
You know, just when I saw her name and Marvin's name on the theater when I walked in, I just went, oh my God, it's going to mean so much to her and to our entire community. My heart just started smiling. Just wonderful.
One of my more recent memories from conversations with Judi is when we talk about Donald Sewell. She has reminded me that Mr. Sewell was very quick to remind Judi that we are in the show business.
I remember I was in Don Sewell's office and we were talking, and then Judi would call and he'd go, Clea, wait, Judy's on the phone. And everything would stop, no matter what.
Don dreamt this whole complex. Judi and Marvin were involved really almost from the very beginning, back in 1979. In the 1990s, they became extremely friendly with Don, and they became the best of pals, quite frankly. They traveled the world together. Janice and I met with them on numerous occasions as the rebuilding was being done here, and Marvin particularly, but also Judi, wanted to make it real clear that the memory of Don Sewell was essential from their point of view.
Part of why they invested was because they love this organization, and part of it was a promise to secure Mr. Sewell's legacy into the future, and to make sure that this place could thrive for future generations. I definitely think that that relationship is part of it, and I think that's kind of a beautiful tie to our origin.
Well, I think her legacy now, it's philanthropy, it's generosity, it's joy, it's the support of arts and culture. I think she will definitely be known as one of the wonderfully staunch supporters of arts and culture in our community for decades.
Not every cultural organization has someone as devoted, who has the resources to make a difference, who is as playful as Judi Wolf is. And that's special. That's really, really unique. You could say she's, the fairy godmother of the organization.
Judi made it clear that the arts are essential. They're important in our lives.
She's been a great community leader, both she and Marvin, and it's not just the DCPA. Both of them recognized that they had the ability and they had the resources, which they used very generously to make sure that the people of Denver and the greater Denver community were exposed to just the best art that's available.
Judi has been a longstanding member of the Denver Center for the Performing Arts Education and Community Engagement Committee. I have never seen her cup fuller than when she's sitting with children or watching programs that impact our youth and our students. She just truly believes that this is what inspires, enlivens, transforms the lives of people and makes them lifelong lovers of performing arts and live theater.
Judi and Marvin are really angels to the arts community. Not just this theater, but would be generous in all of their giving. And we need more angels like Judi. She's just wonderful.
For all of these many reasons and countless others, we, the Denver Center for the Performing Arts, and our entire community have been changed for good. Thank you, Judi.